Welcome to lecture 15, where I'll be showing you how to work with a Skydome light. A Skydome light is essentially a 360 degrees image which is projected onto a sphere which then emits a light onto your environment. This is mainly used for exterior lighting and is very efficient and optimized for Arnold. So in the previous tutorials or previous lectures, you were able to see that I was using a Skydome light all the time. Currently I don't have any light created, so it's a black render on the left. So let's just create a light at first, going to lights and create a Skydome light. And the default light is a typical white sphere. And you can see in my render, it's very uniformly lit and nothing special to it. So in the light itself, you have resolution, you've got color temperature, you've got the format of your input image, exposure settings, normalize as we had before, and a portal mode. These are like a bit more advanced topics, which I will not cover in full detail. So obviously the first thing which you can do is you can plug in a map, like a texture, a 360 degrees texture, or you can actually connect a physical sky shader. And to do that, you would go to the Arnold menu, go to lights and create a physical sky. So on default, nothing really is happening. It actually does create another Skydome light with the physical sky connected already. So let's just hide the one we previously created. And now you can see with the light in the scene. Let's see, with the light in the scene, you can already see that we get the sky render. So let's just duplicate this, and now we have the settings floating of the light, and we can easily play around with this. So in my physical light, you can have several parameters to affect the lighting. You can change the elevation of the light. You can also change the rotation, the ground bounce color, and all this stuff is very interesting, and you can definitely see it in detail on the Arnold documentation. So let's just rotate the light a bit. This is the height, and you can see actually in here in the little spheres where the position is. So I'm bringing it around. Let's just bring it lower. There we go. Rotate it a bit more. So this is very backlit now. So let's bring the sun down, and you can see now the sun is right there, and you create a pretty interesting result. You can change the disk size, which gives you softer shadows. You can change the ground color, add more like dust or particles to the air. So this is something you can work with very easily by just creating a physical sky shader. Currently I have the background matte for my ground, so let's just change this to a standard surface shader. And you should see you get a nice bounce light onto a planar surface. So this would be connecting a physical sky to a Skydome shader. The next step which I wanted to show you is just to plugging a texture into the default light into the color slot. So let's just connect a AI image node to this. I click on the color swatch, go to Arnold, choose AI image, and I'll need to browse for a path. So in my home directory, there is a lookdev HDR. I'm just choosing this one and hit load. And you can see right from the get-go, you can see that a HDR is loaded to this. You can see in the render how it looks like. You can just rotate the Skydome light if need be. And the viewport render currently doesn't respect, if I select it, it doesn't really work currently. So what I'm doing now, I'm copying the tab, deselecting this, going here. And now I can just rotate it. You can see here on the left how the light is changing. If I deselect my Skydome, you can see now the HDR is being rotated. So this is pretty easy, like just connect a light and hit render and you get a result immediately. Depending on the scale of your input image, you would adjust the resolution to the main width of the image to get the best sampling. You can change the input modes, whatever is your input, if it's a mirror ball, it's an angular map or lat long. Typically it's a lat long map which you plug in. you have exposure. If it's underexposed or overexposed, you can just easily boost this up in the exposure slider. Similar as the quad light samples, you can disable shadow casting, change the shadow color, and this is the most needed attributes explained. And in the look dev kit, which is the light I'm currently using, I have several HDRs in here, so I can easily just switch the HDR I'm using. So I'm currently on HDR version 9, and if I hit HDR version 5, you get a new HDR loaded into the Skydome light. So this is pretty basic stuff, how the light works, and I hope I could give you like an overview how to plug in your textures into your color slots and how to create your own HDR images in the render.